Okay guys, I've got another setup in the Ruf Gt3 ready to show you. It's at Silverstone GP track. It's taken from a practice lap that I did for the VR room. I think if I'd done more practice, I only did about an hour and a half practice for this track. I think if I would have practiced more, I would have got maybe half a second quicker than this. But we're going to go through a quick track guide for yourselves. So we're going to brake just after the 100 there and go down into 5th gear and skim the curb on the right. Then we're going to go hard on the power all the way until we hit the 100 marker, and we're going to brake just past the 100 marker, go down into 2nd gear fast, and then hold it, and then into 1st gear as we approach the corner there on the apex. Then hard on the power into 2nd gear, and then back into 1st gear for the next apex. And then we can get on the power nice and early, going through the gears, flat out through this corner. There's no lifting at all. And then we're going to come into the next braking zone where we're going to brake just millimeters past 100 on the left. You'll see the 100 marker on the left. We're going to brake just past that and go down into 3rd gear, hold it. You can actually go down into 2nd gear there like I've done there, or stay in 3rd. Not too sure which is the fastest. Then we're going to hold a tight line here. We didn't really get the power down early enough. We had to back off and then back on the power. Really, you want to try and get on it in one go. You'll gain a lot of time. That's why I think this lap could have been about 500, maybe more faster. But you got to remember it's on no assist, so there's time to be made. And then we're going to brake just before the 50 there and go down into 4th gear, hard on the power through cops there. And then we could have gone a little bit faster through there again. You see we didn't use all the road. So we're going to go flat out into 6th gear into the fast corners now. And then we're going to go into 5th just before we hit the apex there, skimming the apex, and down into 4th before this apex, and then down into 3rd as we hit this apex. Then we're going to go back into 4th before we come out of the final bend there. And we're going to use as much, we want to get as good exit out of them corners. We did that sector pretty much perfect. That's where we gained a lot of time on this lap. So we're going to come into the next braking zone now. We're going to brake just on 100 on the right there, and we're going to go down into 4th gear, and we actually managed to hold it in 4th gear all the way through this corner. You can actually go down into 3rd gear if you find you're going to run a bit wide, but we managed to do it right and stayed in 4th gear. We're going to go into 5th, then back down just past 100, and we're going to brake down into 2nd gear, skimming the curb on the left, then back on the curb on the right hand side, and then hard on the power all the way through these corners. Don't lift, flat out all the way through the corners. And I think we go over the line for a 1:58.4, which I think there was a 57.8 maybe in the track, which with no assists in that car I think is a pretty good time if you could get. I mean 58.4 is not a bad time with no assists, but considering the limited practice I had, it's not a bad time at all. Okay, so let's just quickly go through the setup and note a few changes that I've done to this setup for Silverstone. So we're going to start with the tyre pressures. Slightly lower pressures on the front by only 3 clicks, which is just going to give you that bite through the corners. Obviously with the fast corners on Silverstone you want to have a lower pressure on the front, I'd say, and give the car more turning through the fast corners. Brake balance again went down to 58 for this track as well, as obviously with it being more fast corners you want the rear to be a little bit more lively in the braking zones. Brake ducts were changed for the race, obviously 0% for qualifying and then altered for the race. Gearing didn't touch. Slip was on 17% there. I found that give a really nice balance for this track as there was quite a lot of grip, and the limited slip was only on 40 as well. We didn't need high settings on them. Radiator again, that's just for the race, lower it for anything else. The bump stop 8 and 12, again slightly higher on the back there to give us that turning in the corners. And then we just quickly have a look at the bump stop again, quite an aggressive setting. Obviously with the fast corners that Silverstone's got, you need to have quite an aggressive setting for the suspension to gain the time through the fast corners. You see there everything was quite aggressive for overall speed through the corners. The RUF was really drivable around there. This setup and the last setup both won me the races, which I can't wait to share with you guys. I've got a lot of races to share with you now. I think I've got 6 victories to share, but it's just a lot of editing involved. Anyway, let's carry on with the setup. Ride height, slammed it down to the floor, but we went 1 up on the rear again to give us more of a front rake so that it was faster through the fast corners. You notice there on the sway bars we actually went soft as we can on the front again to give more grip to the front of the car through fast corners. That's one thing I found on that track there, was giving the front a softer setting, stiffer at the rear, made it fast through the fast corners. Camber angles, there you go, 2.3 and 1.4. It's quite a normal setting that for a track like Silverstone, I'd say, what I normally do. Downforce 0.4, did try 0.2, although I think it may have been faster in a qualifying setting, possibly. 0.4 for the race was just better, kept the tyres, everything was kept in check, and it was just a nicer nicer way to run the car. For more consistent, you're not going to spin up the rears on exit of corners, you get more traction. It was just a safer setting all round, and probably a better all round for a race setup. Force feedback, as usual, I don't change it, it's just kept on standard. Okay, so I'm just going to leave you with a quick little run of the replay of the lap there, just for you to have a little watch. Remember guys, give this video a like, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and there'll be more setups, and a lot, like I said before, there'll be a lot more race videos coming in the future. I've got 6 to edit at the moment, 6 victories. I'm on a bit of a streak at the moment, 6 out of 6 that I've raced. So thanks for watching guys, and I'll get more videos uploaded shortly.